folks. Meanwhile, Kevin Bacon was in fucking Footloose. Like, he's IMDb'd my cock off in 3 seconds. Ooh, buddy. Yeah, got new teeth. Charge after the game. I don't want to go in the ocean. So that's like the craziest shit I think I've ever said as far as just being a straight up asshole.
We have to continue this conversation. This is
a statement from your old man changed your life.
No, it didn't. I continued to be an ass. When you and I worked together, I was a fucking jerk.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I met Nick where she said to me when we first, like on our first date, she said, I don't like to be teased. I don't ever like to be tickled. And I don't ever like to be scared. And I'm like, well, fuck, there goes my game. Like, well, then what am I supposed to do? You know what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to be, and she goes, I live by one motto, be kind. And that's it. And like all the times, like you get in arguments with people, and like I used to fucking, you were with me, Charlie worked on Last Comic Standing, and like I got in physical fist fights with, we're big on put your name on it, but in all fairness, he should be here to defend himself. Like a very large comic fucking threw me across the stage, and I just kept going after him. Like, I wanted to fight the fucking... Meanwhile, this guy's going to go on TV and maybe be fucking eliminated. And I'm like, no, fuck that. We ain't done, motherfucker. Like, can you imagine? Like, you're on a contest show, and that night you got to do 7 minutes of stand-up and either become a headliner or you're jettisoned out into fucking mediocrity. And I come in and I'm fucking going, yeah, it's great shoes you got, Tom. You sure that'll make the people laugh.
You were razzing pretty hard. I think you were going through a lot of things at those times.
I was a miserable person. Yeah, I was unhappily with somebody.
That's really what it was, though.
That's what it was. And I think that was you venting from all of that.
Oh, I was very unhappy. Right. But if you asked me then if I was unhappy, I wouldn't have said I was unhappy.
Right.
No.
And that's what's weird is when you meet somebody or when you hear something for the first time or when you walk out and you kill in front of a black audience for the first time, it's like when Dorothy opens the door from black and white and it goes into Technicolor. You don't know that people are going to run out of their fucking chairs and run around the comedy club and pick someone up out of their chair and shake the shit out of them because they're laughing so hard. Yeah. That's a crazy thing. But if you said up until you walked out in front of that black audience, have you fucking killed on stage harder than anyone's ever? You'd go, absolutely. Yeah. But then you walk out and they're waving air towards the stage. Yeah. It's a different thing.
It is a different thing.
And if you told me then, like, are you happy? I'd be like, couldn't fucking be happy. And I guarantee, and I couldn't have been happier. But then you meet the love of your life, and all of a sudden you go, oh, that was like this entire mirage. You hear all these Buddhists and yogis talking about like life is just this dream that we live in. Like this is not reality. This is a dream. I'm living proof of that being true. Charlie knew me. You and I met after I started to steer the ship around.
No, I met you before.
No, I knew you when you were an asshole. You met me right at when I started to turn the wheel.
No, I hung out with you more then. I met you.
Oh.
I worked with you a few times before then.
Oh, see, I was such a dick, I don't even remember.
Yeah, because I met you.
You definitely had your moments, but you know, I mean...
I don't want it to turn into a podcast of like, Jay's really a nice guy.
No.
Don't.
No, you definitely had your moments.
Because people listening to the podcast are probably like, I didn't really know that people thought he was an asshole because they're not in our bizarre little circle.
Yeah.
But... like we're all living just in a dream state. This is not reality, like how the Buddhists talk. I'm living proof of that. And you're living proof of that. When you met Christina, your wife, for the first time, you went, oh, there's an entire life right alongside my life the entire time.
Yeah, it gets way better when you meet somebody.
And everything I thought was great, staying up all night and jerking off and hitting on chicks and going to fucking strip clubs, you go, you know what? I can get rid of all of it except for the jerking off. Right. You specifically.
Right.
Only because you tweet about it constantly.
Here's the VHS tape. Had an emergency last night.
Had an emergency. Like Charlie thought he was happy, laying in bed for 6 months with fucking painkillers with a broken back in Florida. Charge out to the game, man.
That's pretty happy.
I don't want to go to the ocean. Kingfish out there, man. And that really brings us to what this entire episode is about. There are kingfish out there. And if you're listening to this, I want you to look over your shoulders. I want you to look under your seat. I want you to look very closely into the car next to you. There are fucking kingfish out there.
Everywhere you look.
Everywhere. And that's why you got to be very careful where you pee.
You do.
Because there are fucking kingfish.
Kingfish out there, man.
Tommy's riff gun jammed. He goes, no way, man. And he had his hand up like he was super acting it out. And he couldn't think of fucking aquatic life fast enough. He goes, no, man, no. And so then he just repeated, no, man, in character. He could unjam his riff gun. Like, he's thinking of like, no, like, no. And he goes, there's a kingfish out there, man. So when his gun unjammed, he did fucking shit the bullseye. Attaboy, Tommy. That is a fucking walk-off right there. Let me tell you right now, there's people walking around the comedy club shaking each other because they're laughing so hard. Have you ever seen a black audience member get up and do something to the staff? I guess that would be the walk-off. That's like Reggie Jackson, Game 7 in the Bronx walk-off, 3 home runs in 1 game walk-off. When you get up, you take the waitress's tray and throw it.
She's losing all control.
So I want to thank Charlie Gerencer.
Thank you, buddy.
Who just had an incredibly successful 4 years in a row now?
This was the 5th year.
Fifth year in a row, the Asheville Comedy Festival. Congratulations with that.
Thank you,
I'll get out there one day, my man. I give you my word. Just don't know when. And, of course, my homie, Tom Segura.
Yo.
There's Kingfish out there.
Kingfish, man. Be careful.
If you ever get a chance to see Tom Segura do stand-up, I highly recommend it. He used to open for me, but now he's fucking blown past me on a rocket ship, and he's Mr. Headliner himself. So he'll be in a town near you. His podcast is Your Mom's House. And until the next time, we say goodbye.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Hey, buddy. Oh, yeah. I could take it. Oh, deeper, Mike. Just remember, there's Kingfish out there. I keep trying to say it without fucking laughing, and I can't. Give it to me again as the kid that doesn't want to piss. How about we're like an hour and a half in. This all came from a kid, a black child on the child, 15-year-old.
Yeah.
He's like, he has to pee, but why doesn't he just run to the fucking toilet?
Because that's way far away, man.
Go pee in the ocean.
Yeah, just go piss out there, man. He's like,
They can't have the exact same voice.
Piss in the water.
And then what does he say?
I don't want to go in the water.
Why not?
There's kingfish out there, man.
I love that. Tommy, to recreate the magic, made his riff gun jam twice. Because there's Kingfish out there.
There's no sharks.
Turn Muppet on him.
This is the new
sharks out there, man.
That is Jim Henson really was working on before he died. The black kid that doesn't want to go in the ocean. Muppet. It really is. Jim Henson's, like on his deathbed, was like, fuck, why didn't I just go to the doctor? I was so close to having the shirtless black kid with basketball shorts on the beach.
Yes.
With the perfect 12-pack body.
And they're hanging low. He's got
Hanging
boxers
low.
on.
Who's going, I don't want to go in the ocean.
Barracuda out there, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be careful. There are kingfish out there. Until the next time we say goodbye, remember, this has been More Stories. # More Stories. Let me know what you want to hear about. Because I'd like, to quote Tom Berenger from Platoon, I'd like to hear about it, potheads. And please, for God's sakes, put your name on it.
Find more funny shit like this at smodcast.com.